Good day and welcome to another video on Perspective ZA, where we give you a different perspective on the happenings and current events in South Africa. An article written by Rebecca Davis yesterday, or when you see the video, will be 2 days ago, reads: A measured Musi Maimane banks on middle ground DA for race fatigued voters. I like that. We are all, frankly, fed up with race relations in South Africa. Constant divisions, constant race baiting, constant race card playing, constant racism, outright racism, has become a monthly occurrence in our country. Let's see what Rebecca Davis has to say. So all she's saying here is that the guy has a mad schedule ahead of him as he goes through many provinces, preparing for the eventual release of the DA's official campaign. But she brings or addresses quite a few interesting points. The DA leader went to a place in Cape Town. Um, she calls it a Cape Town, an elite Cape Town members club called Kelvin Grove. Okay, and he obviously addressed elitist people there. I don't know if Kelvin Grove is. I'm assuming it's economically elitist people. So what she says is, because Mamani himself is not standing for any provincial position, following an abortive proposal. Yeah, we all know about that. He ran. He said he was going to be the premier of the Western Cape, and then they decided no, he would be the face of the DA. But the party's frenetic dispatching of Mamane to campaign also suggests two further aspects. Here we get into it. That he is viewed as the DA's major weapon, true, which could make life difficult for him if the party's election results fail to meet expectations. I don't know. I think the DA is going to um, grow even more. I think people who didn't vote the last elections are going to vote now. People who were unsure are going to vote for the DA, I'm sure. And then again, there's the year 2000 babies. So they all of a sudden are voting. So now let's assume a household of four, mommy and daddy used to vote for the DA. Now brother and sister is now all of a sudden 18, and they are going to be spurred on by their mother and father to vote for the DA because they've grown up in a house where the DA ideologies are shared. I mean, this would only make sense. It made sense in the ANC where you will vote because mommy and daddy came through the struggle. Look what the white people did to us in apartheid. The ANC liberation movement saved us. They liberated us. Therefore, you must vote for this as a thanksgiving, as a tip of the hat to this freedom that you now have. The second aspect is the DA has a paucity of well-liked representatives who could be considered national household names. Like who? Mamane's greatest value to the DA is in his adaptability, the quality which allows him to empathize with the fears of the Kelvin Grove audience by telling them he hopes that his mixed race children, Mamane as a white wife, will not suffer future discrimination on account of their part white heritage, while assuring impoverished black communities that his Soweto upbringing allows him to relate to their struggles. Well, this is a fact, right? This is so true. What better leader to have than someone who has experience, lived experiences, the new word, in both racial communities. In this sense, Mamane is the living embodiment of what the DA aims to offer, exactly, under its banner of one South Africa for all. That's nice. Don't we all want that? The DA is clever, man. This message of inclusivity, intended as a clear rebuke to other political parties, yes, seen as stroking or stoking racial tensions, means that the DA will probably have to play it even safer on race-based issues over the next few months than it has hitherto. I don't know. I don't know, Rebecca. One indication of this is in recent days, in recent days, has been the party's handling of the Schweizerenic school segregation scandal. I didn't make a video about that because the investigation is frankly not over. With the DA releasing a statement on Tuesday criticizing some parties and organizations at the extremes of the political spectrum who have used this incident, to divide and not unite us. 100% agree. I totally agree. Why do I agree with that? Black kids were segregated from white kids. Someone made the decision. Some on the white side argued that, well, children look at each other and they side with uh, what they are used to. Uh, so white will go with white and black with black. And then others said, no, this was intentional. Someone had heinous intentions and segregated whites and segregated blacks because, whites mustn't mix with blacks. The segregation ideology of apartheid is still alive today. And then they took a photo and they shared it to everyone. I mean, how cock stupid can you be to share it to everyone who you know on the WhatsApp group as other race people, non-whites also in there. That's why I say wait for the investigation to conclude and the facts to come to the fore. Now, media houses must be must be included in their organizations because they ran with the story. Of course, fantasy or exaggeration sells, and the truth does not sell. I highly doubt that we'll get an in-depth analysis and a well thought out article written about the findings because the narrative is that whites are racist. Whites, all of y'all, all of you guys, all 6 million plus of you guys are racist. That's the narrative that's being pushed, especially now, hard. It's being pushed hard ahead of the of the elections, and I, for a fact, know that it is untrue. Okay, and I think this is the aim of the slogan right here. Where is it now? One South Africa for all. That's the aim of that slogan. I must categorically state now that I am not sure if I'm going to vote for the DA yet. I'm waiting to see what the manifesto looks like. However, I can I can see myself voting for that. I can see myself voting for that because that's what I want. As a colored person, I want my black brother, my white sister, my Indian uncle. I want us all to have same opportunities. I want us who have been, or people who have been marginalized, I want them to have the same opportunities. I want them to get help, but not at the expense of another race along racial lines. I mean, it didn't work, man. It didn't work up to now. So we have to find a different way. And I believe these guys are at least on face value trying to come up with a different way. I haven't seen that different way yet. So on Tuesday at Calvin Grove, this elitist place, Maimane only allowed himself on one occasion to be baited mm, into a forceful response on the topic of race during the Q&A following his address to the Cape Town Press Club. The question came from a white audience member who termed the DA unelectable on account of a too small voting base. Well, they did win a large amount. The DA has grown as opposed to the downward trend that the ANC has experienced over the last three elections, with the clear implication that the base was predominantly white. That's untrue. The DA's base, said the questioner, conflicts with the Freedom Front. Oh, okay, cool. So these two parties are they are pro-white political parties. They are concerned with the white plight and white marginalization, as I would see a ANC being concerned with a black plight and black marginalization, okay, as I would see any other colored party, there are many of them, they've just come out now, being concerned with colored marginalization, and the colored plight. There's nothing wrong with this. Why is the DA only lambasted or taken to task about this? My mind, what do you call this? Identity politics. Maimane called the suggestion out, I agree, outrageous, man. On the basis of real numbers, he said, you could not sustain the argument that only white people vote for the DA. He continued, I'm not interested in the Freedom Front Plus, neither am I, describing the party as a race-based organization that focuses on a particular race. Well, maybe the DA is a race-based organization as well, or party as well, focusing on elite white interests only. We will see once we see who funds the DA's party campaign. Then it will come to the fore. He continued, read that the DA concluded, Maimane, with some emotion, is the only party holding the middle. That I can see. I can see the rhetoric. I can see the agenda. When I look at the DA, I see a multicultural DA. At least that's what they present to us. When I hear Maimane talk, he speaks on various issues affecting various races, affecting various cultures. Just look at where he's talking, at an elitist club. The DA, therein lies the crux of the DA's gamble. They say it's a gamble. I don't know if it's a gamble. I think it's a good card he's holding. That in the coming elections, you must be perceived as one for all. That's the slogan. South Africa for everyone, not just for blacks, not just for whites, not just for coloreds or Indians. A party for South Africans. We are South African first, and then we are culturally divided, and then we might be racially divided, but we need to get away from this racial identification. And I think the ANC is hiding under the table because their racial identification based on pure numbers is black. Okay, they fight for black plight first. Everyone else is a secondary. Is a secondary thought. And me being part of the secondary thought, I can't vote for something like that. I'm thinking about my kids, and a white person is thinking about their kids, and a colored person is thinking about their kids. So, in my opinion, in this coming election, identity politics will be the main reason pushing voters to a political party. What are you doing for me and mines? The gamble is that in a country increasingly fraught by torrents of extremism on both sides of the political spectrum. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for identifying that. Millions of voters are still hungry for the middleman. Where is the us? Where is the middle class? Where's the poor? Where's the rich? Where do we find the middle ground, guys, where we all can agree? We want service delivery. We want the poor to be uplifted. We want our borders closed to only uh, um, legal migrants. We want people in poor communities to be skilled, to be educated, just as much as any rich or um, model C or middle class person can. If it's by the government, we want there to be an increase in focus on skilled people delivering messages or education to the poorest of the poor. Just yesterday, I read an article of kids in where I live, close by, walking, having to walk 30 kilometers to school. Here I have two, three cars. Where, how did we get there? How did we get there where I get to skyrocket as a colored person? However, and my kids get to choose what car they go to school with. While my domestic worker has to wake up at 5, 5:30, get her kids ready, and then get in a taxi and walk about a K to my house. How has the ANC in the 25 years helped her and her plight? Now, I can't be voting for them because they're going to tell me, okay, yeah, Lance, we understand. Uh, um, we're gonna try and fix that. Yes, Michael, we're gonna try and fix that. Yes, Tembi, we're gonna try and fix that. Yes, Sibongile, we're gonna try and fix that. Yes, Shane, we're gonna try and fix that. Yes, Johan, we're gonna try and fix that. Yes, Mariette, we're gonna try and fix this. Yes, Shamaine, we're gonna address your issues. Yes, Kuven, we're gonna address your issues. We as the ANC are saying exactly what we've said the last 10, 15, 20 years. How can you go and vote for someone that you see personally? Personally, you can see your lived experience is that they have not improved this woman's life. I'm looking for the middle ground because I'm not looking for that end of the spectrum anymore. I cannot look to the ANC. So there's another disclaimer. I am absolutely not voting for the ANC. My vote is up for grabs. I'm holding it here in my hand with my ID in my other hand. I'm ready to make a cross. Who wants my vote? With a middle shorthand for a moderate and centrist approach to both economic policy and more personal issues of identity politics. Identity politics, I agree, is a personal issue. However, I can argue at length that the ANC has been pushing identity politics masked as a rainbow nation politics. Their focus has solely been on uplifting the black community, which should be the forefront of that middle, because all of us agree, rich, poor, middle class, that we cannot sit with unemployment rates at the rate they are today. It is unsustainable. The people cannot live without water, walking to school 30 k's, going to school knowing there is absolutely no future for me. I pass not even the 30% pass rate. These people are not stupid. These people are afforded opportunities that I have been afforded. So yes, we're gonna vote for the middle ground, but we're gonna vote along identity lines. What do I identify as? Do I identify with your rhetoric and with your mandate? I am sorry, I do not. Do I identify with people talking about how they're going to do this and that? The days of talking, in my opinion, frankly speaking, are over. And I think guys like these know it. They know it's over. That's why they're rushing to make up insidious bills and laws and pass them, or land and things. But have you ever thought that they would create a bill that overhauls the education system right now? Right now, we are going to skill up people from black, previously disadvantaged communities for the following 5 to 10 years, and we are going to skill them up to ensure our economic freedom and economic stability and growth uh, in matters pertaining land, farming, building, etc., cultivating land or something like that. They don't do that. They think giving you land will give you hope, will give you freedom, which will lead to economic freedom. It unfortunately does not. Zimbabwe is a perfect example. Our neighbors, they are totally fucked today, but they have land. I'm rambling on here. Within the rarefied corridors of rarefied corridors of Kelvin Grove, Maimane could be sure of a warm response to his call to South Africans to stop looking back and start looking forward. I think all of us, white, colored, Indian, black, we are sick of looking back. Even the poorest of the poor said, I'm looking forward. What can I look forward to? We can do little, or we can do a little about yesterday. We can do a little about yesterday, but boy, we can do a hell of a lot about tomorrow. We say. When people start talking like this, I get a warm, fuzzy feeling because I feel that it's not someone who's saying this that is in a party that already said it and didn't do it. It's someone that's new that needs to be given a chance to see if he can do what he's saying he will do. Maimane could also be certain of a responding chorus of snide chuckles to a quote he attributed to President Cyril Ramaphosa. Mr. Zuma is one of the smartest people I've ever met. You see, if you vote for the ANC, you still have to deal with comments like that. Whether such comments would be met with similar approval in the Eastern Cape, no, they would not. On Tuesday, Maimane used the term liberation movement in reference to the ANC as something akin to a slur. What South Africa needs now, he said, is not a liberation movement, but a governing movement. Amen. I agree with that. We need a party to govern us. to fix what is wrong and to fix how we would expect a government to fix what is wrong that a government caused. So, by the way, it's a point that Maimane has made many times before that throughout Africa, former liberation movements have checkered histories as ruling parties. Very true. His call to South African voters is to reject the ANC's appeals on the basis of its freedom fighting past. This is where the ANC is going to fail, especially with the younger generation, because they do not come from there. They are highly affected by the reasons for this freedom fighting to exist, but they do not resemble or remember or understand what their parents understood. And that's where the ANC is going to fail for that generation right there. I am looking so forward, not to the predictions, but to the actual numbers when it comes out, the statistics. I want to see where the younger generation voted and cast their lot in with a party with its eye on the future. I agree. There's a right there. My future, my kids' future is extremely important to me. And I think this is why people are leaving the country in droves. In droves. The ANC is arrogant and says, yeah, go. Well, we'll see. It's easy to forget that the DA not too long ago tried to get into historical nostalgia by bigging up his own version of liberation heroes like Suzman and using the face of Nelson Mandela in campaign material. Why not? Everyone else is doing it. On the basis of Maimane's Calvin Grove address, it seems those tactics have now been abandoned. Maybe because it's irrelevant now, especially when you're talking about that, when he just now told you don't look to the past. Come on now, Rebecca. Forward ever, backwards never. Maimane wasn't keen even to dwell on the party's most recent past, refusing to be dragged into a detailed discussion of the DA's torturous divorce from former Cape Town Mayor Patricia de Lille. We need to make a video about that because that is the trump card right there. That is the dark horse. Patricia de Lille and good. I believe and I am considering voting along racial lines right there. What is she going to do for my people? If she tells me something I like, I'll definitely vote there for my people. Can you see how we are forced to vote um, with the foundation of identity politics? We had to get over last year. The man now just said he's not looking back. The DA will only formally launch his campaign manifesto in February. Let's see. A very long way away in the chaotic chronology of South African politics. By that time, my name may need another adrenaline dip. Okay, yeah, true. I like what he said at the Kelvin Grove. Looking forward, not race focused, but South Africa focused. And he speaks to me. If I were to vote for the DA, this is why I would vote for them. I would not look back at what the DA didn't do or what the DA did. I would literally look at their manifesto and I would say, looking at Maimane and how he addresses himself and how he fights for what is right, this is someone I can give my very, very expensive, very precious vote to. That's what I would say. I would look at the DA and say, I can side with this man. I can give him 5 years. My God, we've had the worst 10 years in the last 25 years. I can surely give up 5 years to see how he would change it. I'm not expecting miracles. However, I'm expecting massive policy changes that will really result in growth in this country. That's what I would look forward to. I wouldn't vote thinking about Helen Ziller or Patricia de Lille or rumors of this year or that there. I would look at just where they've governed and I would say, even with all the rumors and allegations, I can vote for a party like this because they show that they are in sync with the people on the ground. We require the following things and they make sure that it happens. Basic shit happens where they govern. Now, does it happen for everyone? I've heard no from PE. I've heard no from Pretoria. I've heard no from the Cape Town, from Cape Town, because I know people in these three areas. However, those are just those people's perspectives. When I go there, when I read about their successes versus their failures, the successes outweigh the failures. However, if I were to vote along identity politics in my demographic, I really am not hearing him focus on my people, and that's what I want to hear in 2019 elections. I want to hear my people also come forward as people do for black people's plight. I want that same treatment because the struggle was also for colored people. I know people personally, colored people that were also thrown in jails, that were also marginalized. I want them to also have their fair share of this supposed new dawn, using the words of the others. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe, please comment. God knows I need that for this channel to grow. This is Perspective Zar giving you another perspective on other people's perspectives. Enjoy.